Guys, my strategy of only setting aside one day for luxury shopping on our recent European vacation has backfired. My intentions were pure, but what ensued was what I can only describe as an unhinged shopping spree. Like, I don't think I've ever spent this much in one afternoon. Welcome back to A Briefcase of Luxury, a place where we love to chat about all things related to life, learning, and luxury. And while I have no intentions of quitting my day job as a business professor, especially not now, because Lord knows mama needs that paycheck more than ever, I would love to grow this channel. So to those of you who have subscribed, liked, commented, or shared my videos, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I'm going to keep this video as short and as sweet as I possibly can because we have a lot of goodies to get through from Cartier, Hermes, Celine, and others. So I'll do my best to save the commentary for future review or story time videos. Like for Hermes, I know we love to hear about what it's like to shop at Hermes as a tourist and any potential bag offers, which yes, I will be unboxing a bag in this video. But for now, let's just focus on what I bought and let's talk prices. I know that's a sensitive topic for some, but trust me, you're gonna want to pay attention to the prices because it's wild. I'll be sharing with you the US retail price for everything I bought as well as the final amount I paid after the VAT refund. Yes, on average, I did save more shopping in Europe, as expected, sometimes a heck of a lot more. But for some of these items, I was shocked when I discovered that I ended up paying more in Europe, and I wish I did my due diligence instead of just assuming that the European prices will always be better. So I hope you find this helpful, especially if you are putting off certain purchases to make for any of your future Europe trips. The moral of the lesson is double check your conversion rates and don't just assume that the European prices are always going to be better. So let's just jump into it. We'll start with the brand I didn't know anything about prior to visiting their physical store. So this is an exception to my one-day shopping spree. And this company is not one of your well-known luxury brands, but y'all, this is what luxury should be about. So Rhanders is a royally appointed glove making company with roots all the way back to the 1250s. Like what? I can't. As in, they made gloves for the likes of Marie Antoinette. And so, of course, I'm a sucker for a good heritage story, and I'm an even bigger sucker for high quality products. So as soon as I actually laid hands on their leather, there was no way I was leaving the store empty-handed, because I'm not lying when I tell you that their leather is unlike anything I have ever felt before. Now, my husband couldn't wait for me to film, so I will just include cutaways of what he picked up. And while Rhanders still primarily specializes in gloves, we really don't need gloves where we live, so what he ended up buying instead was a belt. So he has been on the hunt for a chocolatey brown casual belt, and this ticked all the right boxes for him. Plus, he really liked the extra pizzazz, like the giant gold stamp of the company name on the inside, as well as the blind stamp of their logo on the tip. You can find that flower motif on a lot of their products. I believe it's a flower that actually played a really important role in their tanning process and is what gives their leather its signature scent. And by the way, this is what their packaging looked like. So that's the front and that's the flower motif again back there. But as for me, I picked up this little cutie. So this is the dust bag. So this here is called the mini swan bag. So the swan bag is one of Rhanders' iconic award-winning bag collections. They do make these in several sizes. The one I have is the mini, which I believe is the smallest size available. But guys, I picked this up for half the price of their regular swan bag. And no, this wasn't on clearance, but this is made of upcycled leather. Like, I couldn't believe it, just because this is still nonetheless handcrafted in their local atelier, but just with leather scraps instead. So there's no guarantee of a certain color or anything like that. But here's a close-up look of the bag. As you can see, it also comes with a beautiful 14 karat gold plated detachable chain. And the opening of the bag is actually magnetic, so it just snaps shut together. And you already got a peek of the inside. But that's what that looks like. We got a beautiful velvet pop of teal on the inside, and that's another signature of their bags. Like, how cute is this? So let me just give her a quick spin. And there you can see that's the same flower motif. But the main thing is, I know you can't smell or feel this leather through the screen, but you just have to take my word for it when I tell you that I have never felt leather quite like this before. It is so beautiful to the touch. Now, I'll for sure be doing a proper review later, but just as a quick comparison, this is what this looks like next to my other dumpling style bags. So here we have it next to my Bottega double knot bag. And this is what it looks like next to my Mansur Gabrielle Cloud Clutch. Like, this looks teeny tiny, but it actually fits a fair amount of stuff only because the leather is so supple. Now, at the store, they had several of the upcycled versions that caught my eye. Like, they had this gorgeous deep green color, which I didn't take a picture of. And they also had this beautiful deep blue, which was stunning. Like, that was the bag I originally thought I was going to get. But I ended up going with the caramel only because I surprisingly don't have a caramel color mini bag, and plus this was also a little cheaper than the other two, and I think that's because the leather's been worked over a little bit more. But man, I want more of these, like in all the colors and in all the sizes. Now thankfully Rhanders, they do have a website, and I highly encourage you to check them out. You're just gonna have to take a chance on their leather because it truly is unlike anything I've ever felt before. Now, especially if Bottega is a little too mainstream for you, or if you're kind of over the outrageously high designer prices backed by alleged poor labor conditions and possibly questionable business ethics and materials, then you definitely want to check out heritage non-mainstream brands like Rhanders, where they promise both craftsmanship and ethical production practices, and they're just overall a lot more transparent about their business. You see what I'm saying? I can just go on and on about these just because I'm so excited about what we picked up. But let's see if I can pick up the pace. Next stop, let's talk about Cartier. Now, I went ahead and replaced the black cord on my Trinity bracelet with the pale gold cord. Instead, I'll pop a picture of the different color options that were available in store. Next, I previously mentioned that my husband wanted one to match, and there was no way he could get his man hands through mine, which I did buy online. So we took this opportunity to get him fitted for one, and he picked a navy cord instead, and he's super happy with his. I'll again insert his unboxing and try on of his new bracelet. That way you can see what I mean when I say man hands. Yeah, they had to make sure that his cord was extra long. Next, he also picked up his very first Cartier pen. Currently, I believe he owns 2 Mont Blanc pens, which he keeps in different places, like one in his office and one in his work bag. So he wanted one for his home office, and he wanted to branch outside of Mont Blanc. And Lord knows, because a regular ballpoint pen just won't do. But I'm happy he's happy, because he can say the same about me and how I buy purses, and that's not a fight I can win. So on that note, on to what I bought. Now, while I did finally get to try on the Panthera ring, which I did mention was going to be a future purchase someday, that was surprisingly not what I ended up bringing home, even though they did have one that fit me perfectly. I ended up buying something related but different. I bought my very first Cartier bag instead, on a whim-ish. So, ta-da! So this is the mini Panthera Graphique bag. P.S. I did get a chance to try on the seated Cartier shoulder bag, which is one I've mentioned several times on this channel about it possibly being a good substitute for the Hermes Constance. But seeing it in person actually made me change my mind, just because, as I suspected, the flap and the smooth leather finish just didn't feel like it was going to hold up. Instead, I really just wanted to peek at the Panthera Graphique line, at most maybe try out a card holder just for fun, but as soon as he pulled this out for me to try on, it was game over. Now this is what I'm talking about. In hindsight, I should have done some due diligence. Save for the VAT refund, we spent more at Cartier in Europe than we would have if we had just bought these items here in the US, which I didn't even think to check prior. Now, maybe if we were in France, that would have been different. But in case you missed it on the screen, aside from the pen, each of these items actually retailed for less in the US, like a lot less, like $200 to $300 less. So just kind of keep that in mind. Even with the VAT refund, we actually paid more for the Cartier cord bracelet, like not by much, by $10, but still, we paid more. Now, thankfully, we did save about $80 for his pen, and I saved just over $300 on the bag. But like this bag is the mini, and the retail price I paid for the mini would have been the price equivalent of the small in the US. So thank goodness for the VAT refund, which put this bag at right around $3,200 instead. So while I am happy that at the end of the day I didn't overpay for anything except for the Trinity bracelet, it was still a wake-up call. Regardless, the deed is done. Now all we have left to do is just to enjoy everything we bought. Also, I'm surprised I haven't seen many reviews on Cartier handbags, but guys, this bag is gorgeous. Like the pebbled leather is really sturdy but still soft, so there is a bit of flex to the bag. The hardware is of course flawless, and here's how you open the bag. You just kind of pull it down, because it just kind of slips into a little buckle. And let me just kind of give you a very, very quick tour. So this is what the strap looks like. So there is a little shoulder leather bit. And of course you can double it up. And that's what the inside looks like. But look at that buckle, just flawless. Hey, if we can justify buying fine jewelry from Chanel and Hermes, then I feel like we should give Cartier a chance to show us what they can do with leather goods. Now, P.S., we were actually going to go back to Chanel to buy my first ever mini flap, but this just knocked the mini flap right out of the park. Again, I'll save the story time for later when I do a proper review of the bag. Before I close out on Cartier, my husband did of course get a little pouch for his bracelet as well as his pen. He also got a couple of men's fragrance samples like these as well. I think he's already used up some of them. But the sample I received was a little more substantial. I wish I knew what fragrance this was, but it is really nice. It's a very strong, fresh floral scent. But again, the packaging is just super luxurious, and I love that it has its own little velvet pouch. Now, I do wonder if this is refillable. Like, someone let me know if you know. All right, next, let's do Celine. If you've been around before, then you'll know that there's only ever been one thing I've been interested in Celine, even though I called it a completely unnecessary purchase. Yet, not only did I buy one of these, I ended up buying two, just because I couldn't decide on which case I wanted. So if you haven't figured it out, I ended up buying two pairs of Celine sunglasses. And I'll be honest, the only reason why I wanted these was for their crossbody pouches. As in, I walked in the boutique and basically just said, show me all the sunglasses that come with a crossbody pouch. Now here we are. And just FYI, there are only two styles of Celine sunglasses that come with these crossbody pouches. So the first, if you want to get the tan pouch, those are only for the sunglasses with metal frames. However, if you're wanting one of the white pouches, these are only available with the acetate frames, and more specifically, the ones that say Celine on the side. And as you can see, there is a size difference between both of these pouches. Now, obviously, most people prefer the more discreet tan pouch, but the white one, yes, it is a little louder, however, it is also bigger, and thus it can fit more. So that's just something to note if you do plan on using them as mini crossbody bags. Now here, I am happy to report that the savings were quite good. Post VAT refund, the metal pair was only $350 versus the $490 US retail price. And I believe for the acetate pair, this was only $320 compared to the $440 US retail price. So that's quite a bit of savings right there. Plus, not only do I get a pair of sunglasses, I also got a free mini pouch. Again, I'll be doing a comparison about what fits inside both of these pouches and whether or not they're actually worth it. Oh, and of course, I'll review the sunglasses as well. All right, last but not least, let's talk Hermes. Now, I did pick up a Twilly at the Heathrow airport only because I've had zero luck finding this anywhere else. It is a slightly older Twilly design, and it is called the En Liberté Twilly. Yes, I am still in my cat and dog themed era, and while I would have preferred the colorway with more of the green accents, I still had to go for it because this is so incredibly difficult to find. And so here's just what it looks like. The second item I picked up was also another Twilly. And ta-da! Yep, we have yet another cat and dog themed Twilly, and this is from the current season. And I think this is called like the Dogs of Paris, but in French. That's what it looks like. Next, my husband picked up a mini agenda refill for his vintage Gucci agenda book, which they got a kick out of at the store when he pulled out his little agenda to ask if they had any refills that would fit it. And sure enough, the mini agenda was perfect. Let's see, I think he also got some fragrance samples as well. And there you go. H24 and Terre de Hermes, both of which I think he already does have. Now next up, in one of my more recent videos, you may have already seen me very ungracefully unbox this next item. We'll do a redo. Much better. And so, yes, I did finally pick up the Farandole necklace in rose gold. Like, the savings on this necklace was awesome. So at $1,800, that was like the original price when I first decided that this was something I wanted. And that was like 2 years ago. The price of this now clocks in at $2,225. So at $1,800, I'll take it. It's beautiful, simple, understated. I still love it. Up next, I also picked up a belt. Again, no surprise here if you have been around before. I finally bought my very first Kelly belt. So this is in the color gold with rose gold hardware. There you go. Now, I originally did ask for a Kelly pocket belt, but of course they didn't have that in stock, but they did have this, which, hey, in this classic color combo, yes, please, I'll take it. Now, granted, even with the VAT refund, this ended up costing $918 compared to the $1,125 US retail price. So yes, while I did save myself about $100, this is still stupid expensive for a belt. But I've always wanted it, and this, I hope, is going to be one of those forever purchases. Like, I have no excuse not to reach for it, even if I ever lose or put on weight in the future. And last but not least, let's unbox an Hermes bag. Now, I have not bought a new bag from Hermes in over a year. So everyone, meet my very first ever mini Evelyn. So this is in the color Vertigo, and this has gold hardware. First, let's talk about price. This after VAT was only $1,600. I say only very lightly because it is still very expensive, but considering that the mini Evelyn now retails for $2,200 here in the US, that's a saving of $600 right there. Now, to be honest, I wasn't sure about the color because, hello, I virtually have no color in my collection, let alone anything this saturated. I mean, for crying out loud, I added my first green bag right before I took my trip, and it was the Save the Girls RFID Venetia bag. But to the essay's credit, he did make me try it on. I still have the stickers. Let's go ahead and just take those off. By the way, he had other colors available for the mini Evelyn as well as other bags. So it's not like this was a take it or leave it bag offer situation. But as soon as I tried it on, I was like, hold on a minute. This color is truly stunning. So for sure, I will be doing a future comparison of the TPM with my PM, as well as let you know what other bags were available, what all I got to try on in the store, including some newer Kelly bag styles, etc. But all in all, I would say it was a successful afternoon of shopping. Like, all of this took place in a span of a few hours, like between lunch and dinner time. And that included all the other stores we visited, but left empty-handed. And while I have nothing to show from those boutiques, I got thoughts to share, but that will be for a later video. Anyways, thank you so much for watching my Europe haul. I don't do a ton of haul videos, and I get it, this may not be a large haul relative to others, but this was large for me. That being said, I am very thankful that my husband and I got a chance to travel and to do a one-day shopping spree. However, it is time to lock it back down and get back to work now that summer is wrapping up. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And if you have any questions about any of these items, please let me know down in the comments below. That's it for now, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.